with Tiffany here on TAAN TV. And I have two of my favorite guests, Reginald Ballard, our spokesperson for Texas Kidney Foundation, and also Dr. Milojlovic. Uh,
Yeah.
One of
Hello.
my favorite people over at Nova Biomedical, Chief Medical Officer for Nova Biomedical. How are y'all doing today? It's World Kidney Day.
Dandy. I'm doing just dandy.
Yeah, same for me, Tiffany. Great to be here today with you guys.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on at Nova Biomedical. I'm going to start with you, Dr. M.
As you know, Tiffany, we've been working with you for what, 10 years, and we
That's
keep
right, 10
supporting
years.
great. We kept supporting you for past 10 years now, and we're always trying to bring something new and help kidney patients, not just in USA, across the world. We run tons of new projects, and one thing that's probably most interest to you is that we're going to be bringing soon on the market device that's sleeker, smaller, faster, whatever you call it, and also we're going to be providing opportunity for people to measure with new CKD-EP equation that doesn't include the race factor, and we know how detrimental that could be for African Americans and also Latino population. So that is something very new, and actually I hoped I would be able to announce today on the World Kidney Day that we're going to bring that on the market first in Europe and then USA, but we'll be probably a few days late. But yeah, that's something that's coming from our side, and we hope to capitalize on that with you and people across the country.
You mentioned race correction.
Yeah.
And that's why we are honoring you at Texas Kidney Foundation today for World Kidney Day, taking race correction out of your devices going forward. Can you explain to our audience a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Actually, I don't know how much audience knows about it. So what basically kidney is? Kidney is like a main filter of your body. Like you have if you may compare to the car, your blood would be sort of oil, and your heart would be oil pump, making sure, your system works well. And your kidney would be kind of a filter for that oil, to make sure it's clean, the engine runs smooth, e.g. our body runs smooth. And as we age, as we have different diseases and, lifestyles and, sometimes without no obvious reason, that filter can get clogged. So how physicians sort of can judge the quality of your filter, of your kidney, is by measuring in laboratory, metabolite that's called creatinine. Creatinine is a molecule that's naturally produced in your body from muscles and other processes in the body, and it's solely excreted through your urine, through your kidneys. So by measuring concentration of this product creatinine in your blood, you can say how good your kidneys are working. If the kidneys stop working, concentration of this metabolite creatinine raises up. But then production of creatinine itself depends on various factors. So they looked in the past, what it depends from, so they could compare it sort of like for different people, make standardized kind of value. And they realized that men has a bit higher concentration than women, mainly because the muscle mass is bigger. And then age is also, there is some correction for age that you should make. And then one element that ended up in equation was race, of that sort of generalized wrong assumption that every black person has more muscles than every white person of the same age and same gender. So in order then to kind kind of transform that value of concentration of that element to something that can be uniformly applied, they calculate the value that's called estimated glomerular filtration rate, which basically means how much blood, what's the volume of the blood that your kidney can filter every minute. So concentration of this element using then gender, age, and race in the past was transformed to this called EGFR parameter. And then for your healthy kidneys, cutoff point is around 60. So if your EGFR value is below 60, that means your kidney is sort of not working. 60 means that your kidney can filter 60 milliliters of a blood per minute for your average body size. So, and if it goes below 60, that means kidney can filter less blood, which analogy with a car, your filter is clogged, it's not working that well. Where the race problem comes in, I'm coming slowly to that point. So I think the national guidelines in USA are, if your EGFR function is below 20, you come on a transplant list. So you become eligible to do the transplant, to get a kidney transplant. The problem comes for African Americans if you use that equation that has a race factor. For somebody of, let's say, my age, male, my age, everything the same, if my EGFR function is 18, they would say, okay, Bogdan, you can go on a transplant list, you can get a kidney transplant. The black person of the same age and same gender, EGFR would be, let's say, 22, 23, because equation uses race correction factor to calculate. So that person, black person, wouldn't be eligible for kidney transplant. And that's straight away how you introduce inequality in the care. And same goes across the range of this estimated glomerular filtration rate, whether you are eligible to receive some drug or not. So that causes just unnecessarily inequalities in the care given and available to people. And it has been recognized in medical and scientific community for long, but they haven't done that. And just recently, in the past 2 years, a medical community came and they decided to take away race from equation. And then in the future, every measurement of parameters in the blood creatinine that I mentioned will be transformed to this EGFR value without race element. The problem now to make it, and I have to admit, I don't fully understand that. I read somewhere recently, they said, okay, that's great now, we're going to use this equation that doesn't have a race, but we believe it will take in between 5 to 7 years that every hospital in this country introduce new equation in their hospital systems. And maybe I don't understand how their IT departments work and everything, but I'm wondering why that's so difficult. It's just equation, it's like, A plus B equals C type of, so just change it.
Take it out. Exactly.
Yeah, apparently it takes, it will take years. So what we've done, we have created this new, it's based on our old technology. We adjusted some things to make device even better, and the equation on that device available will be equation without race factor. So, and we
took it out. You took it out going forward.
Yes.
Because it's not right.
It's not right. It's simply not right, making that assumption that directly really, affects African Americans receiving the care in an equal amount and quality as any other person would receive. So that's absolutely not fair, not correct, not right thing to do. But yeah, we will be the first one who will be doing this, and also with devices, the technology we have, that you would be able to screen people in community in the settings that are most comfortable for these people. We know that 90% people don't know they have kidney disease, so that's where we are now.
Bogdan, one of the reasons why we're honoring Nova Biomedical is because when I made those calls and emails and sent out stuff to people 2 years ago, you were the first ones to answer those calls. You're the first ones to actually take the action. It's one thing to say, hey, this is wrong. And just for the record, nobody came out and said that it was wrong. Like the national organizations did not say this is wrong until what, last year? Was last
September.
Yeah,
So
like September of last year of 2021. Uh, there are other places like pockets of universities. I believe Beth Israel was the first ones to take it out of their system. Um, but there have been very few that have removed the equation from removed race from how they're testing and making decisions about kidney care and kidney health. You're the first ones to do that, and and I just want our audience to know that when Bogdan, when Dr. Milojlovic decided to, when they had made this decision and decided they were going to remove this from their devices, he called me personally and said, "Tiffany, we're removing this," and I just was so moved by it because that's saying that and addressing us in such a way as we're a little bit different, a little bit. It felt like every time I read this stuff on race correction, it felt like we're like the system is saying we're a little bit different, a little less human than everybody else. And so to hear that it was being taken out, it was a validation of the fact that you can change the system if you push hard enough, and if you stand up for what's right.
Mm.
And I thank you for that, Bogdan, for standing with us and for us, because there are a lot of your colleagues did not.
I
They
mean,
did not have not.
I'm seeing now, and we are receiving calls from a lot of health institutions where we have our devices, and they want to work with us to do this. So I think the tide has turned. Generally, I think the community realizes that was wrong and it has to be changed. So hopefully we are going in right direction, and
Yep.
decisions we all make, and as we made in Nova Biomedical, we make others do the same thing, and I'm pretty sure we are the right path there. My sort of problem is more of, as we know, Tiffany, as we talk, every time we meet each other, we talk about this. Now the bigger problem is, we still have, it's not
Early
exaggeration to say
identification is
we
the
have
big
millions. We have millions of people out there that they have kidney disease and they don't know they have it. And
problem.
a lot of these people are in disadvantaged communities where they don't have access to medical care like other people have, in a way of, okay, you will have a yearly checkup, you'll test your heart, your kidneys, whatever else, and you will make action on that. You have millions, literally millions of people out there with these kind of problems, which are hard to reach. And we talk on daily basis. We have to do something to reach these people where they are. Is it, I don't know, is it churches, it's communities, it's pharmacies, wherever it is, to test them, to explain them, and to do the work you are doing, education, early detection, and to act on it. And, and I really hope we all, in this country, whoever is in care of people, we should make some effort to change the system, because system is just ruthless.
That is what we're actually doing, and that's what we're attempting to do. And Bogdan came up with a great idea, Reginald, and that was for us to reach out to the Senate and the House in Texas and ask them to take our tests and to get screened for kidney disease, because that's one of the reasons why Reginald agreed to partner with Texas Kidney Foundation and to lend his name and voice to what we're doing, because we know that early detection is the way that you stop kidney disease, and a person of Reginald's caliber and character is what we need people to hear. So I'm going
And
to turn it over to you, Reginald.
it's amazing because not only, you know, the care, but it's the information. I was in Killeen, Texas last weekend doing a show, and a lady came. She was in a wheelchair, and after the end of the show, she said that she have kidney disease and she's on dialysis. She never heard. She said, "Yeah, I'm waiting on a match, from somebody, maybe my family or whatever." And she never heard of the exchange program or swap. You know what I mean? It's like it's like doctors, and my doctor, the first one I had out here, never told me about that. Mine was I caught it it was an accident. I went to play golf and my heart was beating fast. And so I said, I'm going to the hospital. So my friend told me to stop my car. He's going to come pick me up. He took me to the hospital. And this doctor told me, say, there's such thing as a swap. And I said, I've been with this doctor for a long time. And he never mentioned that to me. And this woman said she never heard of it before. And, it's the lack of basic, simple information. They don't, a lot of black people don't believe that you have to have a family member that's a match and willing to donate the kidney to you in order for them to have a kidney transplant. That's sad. That's sad. So just that basic information, needs to get out. Because we still think that if we can't find a match in our family, then match somewhere else, then we can't. We just have to deal with the dialysis. Until that happens. So when my wife decided to do, even though she was a perfect match, but her size was small, and they said, well, we would rather put one in that's bigger. So soon as she said she'll donate, I mean, I was in 15 minutes. They called me and told me we have somebody, we're going to do the swap. So that's how fast it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead, Tiffany. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask
for me, it goes even beyond that. I mean, that's absolutely exactly what that part of education and awareness and what's possible, what's not, has to be out there. But as general as what Tiffany is trying to do, early detection, I guess, recently I saw somebody saying, like, if you would ask any person, even with a transplanted kidney or on dialysis, whether they would prefer whatever good care to happen to them at that stage, would they prefer if they never reach that stage? Everybody would say yes. So that's what we are saying. We have to put the word out there of awareness that people have to get detected early, because there are now, in the past year or so, there are new drugs available on the market that can slow down or completely stop progression of chronic kidney disease. So you never come to the stage where actually you need transplant or you need dialysis. And that has huge impact on quality of life, on health, on money for the government and insurance is spent on these people, on everything. So that effort should be there, and you guys know better than I what's the best way to reach these communities and to explain people and how to make it happen. But I think it requires the effort of whole society. I just discussed today with Tiffany, and I just said an analogy. I mean, we obviously are just coming out of COVID pandemic, and that's been huge. We had over 1 million Americans die from COVID, and obviously it's been shocking. It affected our life for 2 years. Completely in every aspect for each one of us, and that's 1 million people who died. Obviously, a lot of people been sick, some more serious, some less serious. But here we are talking that in America at this moment there are 30 million people who have this disease called chronic kidney disease, over 30 million, who don't know they have it, and disease is silent but deadly, as Tiffany knows. And they are walking there, they're going to crash one day. When they get the symptom, it will be late. Information they will get will be either dialysis or transplant. And that's over 30 million Americans. And within these 30 million, African Americans and Latino population is affected more proportionally. So this is, for me, as if you think about public health impact on any impact, this absolutely should be priority.
Mm-hmm. It
Agree.
should
I agree. Yeah.
It should be a priority. And
Yes.
that is the goal of everybody that's on this program today. Because awareness, when we talk about awareness, that sounds like a perfectly innocuous thing. People act like, Tiffany and Reginald, they're out there talking about kidney disease. This is one of the most important things we could be talking about. It's World Kidney Day, and this day is designed to make people pay attention to kidney disease. But I have to say, every day is a day to talk about kidney disease, because our communities, the poor in general, and people, you don't have kidney disease doesn't know a socioeconomic boundary. So it's not that only poor people are affected by kidney disease. Poor people are affected disproportionately by kidney disease because of things like food deserts and a lot of other mitigating circumstances that cause kidney disease to be worse, because they're not receiving health care in the same ways that others receive health care. So, there's that problem. But with 1 in 3 at risk for kidney disease is a problem that everyone is dealing with. There's not an ethnic group in this country that's not touched by kidney disease.
Yeah, and the thing about our people, we just refuse to go get checked up anyway. We refuse it unless something is wrong with us that we can't physically move or get out the bed. We just for some reason don't want to go and see the doctor. Like my mother say, well, if something wrong with me, I don't want to know. And that's a bad way to look at it. So if you just, like if a white person discovered a knot on their leg, they'll go get it checked out. If we discover a knot on our leg, we're gonna feel on the other leg, see if a knot on that leg, and if a knot on that leg too, we like, oh, well, cool, it's supposed to be there, because it's on both legs.
Not a good way.
We have to get our people, because we're affected more so by some of these things that we have, like diabetes and heart disease, kidney problems. We need to educate people just to go, like you say, get screened, get checked, and it can solve a whole lot of problems, before it happens. And I think that's the main thing. Just getting people aware of this is something that we all can be affected by, because I didn't know. I mean, I was walking around thinking I was okay, and all of a sudden, if I would have went earlier, who knows? Maybe I could have even longer, before I had to get a kidney. But hey, that's what happened. My wife used to always say to me, go get checked. So
one of the ways. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's what I wanted to say, Reginald and you, Tiffany. I mean, that's the key, because we have to find the way that these people are comfortable with and people whom they trust,
Right.
I mean, just to give the same example, my wife, she's Cameroonian originally, from Cameroon, from Africa, and she's trying to do something similar there in her community. And we were talking about some projects we can run there. And she says, you don't understand. You talking about me, you can't walk in there with your devices, test people. They won't trust you. They won't be. We are now working with local organizations. We have to work in these communities with the local priests. And obviously, it's a specific culture there in remote areas in Africa. And then, you have to gain confidence. You have to work with them. They have to internalize all of these problems. So it's their problem. They are providing solutions. So there is different way to work with it. That's completely different aspect. I'm not saying it's the same here, but it's very specific social aspect that we have to look at and rely on what, work of Texas Kidney Foundation and all of you guys, your knowledge and understanding how this can, be tackled. And I hope politicians will listen to you, because without that, it's nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like one of the things that we're doing is along those lines is reaching out to people where they are today, where they stand, in ways that are different. Like we're doing a golf for kidneys. We're doing comedy for kidneys, and
Yeah.
that's going to be April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And our reason behind that is multifaceted. One is a fundraising event. We need to raise funds to go out and do more kidney screenings. But two, it's also an awareness event. It's to bring up awareness about kidney disease, to tell Reginald's story, to tell Brad Jordan's story, and to tell the story of kidney disease in general. You know, people don't understand what it is, and in order to reach our people, you know, you got to bring you have to do exactly what you're talking about, Bob. Then you have to go out and bring the message with the right messenger, and everything in my heart and mind says that the right messengers are Reginald Ballard. Like there is no better messenger than Reg. You know, you're it. That's why we are working with you and love you so much. And it's the same thing with Brad Jordan. Like you
Yeah.
guys, you have walked the walk. You know what this is, and
Yeah.
you know what to say to our folks. So what do you want to say to them about our events that are coming up? Why we're talking about this and what they can do?
Yeah. April 21st through the 23rd. Just come out and ask questions. We are very approachable. And then we can fill you in on some of the things that you may not know and that you may not be comfortable talking about. So just come out and hang out and talk and ask questions, and trust me, you'll learn a whole lot about kidney diabetes and whatever else that um cause this this your kidney to stop functioning the way it's supposed to. Because once that start, I mean, it's no reversing if you don't take control of your situation immediately. Because once it goes down that hill, then you have to end up with a transplant. You have to end up um taking this medicine that I have taken so many medicines now, man. But it's cool because I feel good. I'm healthy now. I can golf now. I just got through getting shooting back in my 80s again since this transplant, and I feel good. So it's not um a life-ending thing if you get diagnosed with kidney disease. So there is help, and you can live a healthy, normal life. So just check. Don't just sit around and just let yourself go and to the point of no return. Don't do that. So come out, ask questions, and doctors will be there. We'll be there, and you can always come up to me and ask me, and I can tell you what I've been through. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a great event.
And that's why he's our spokesperson. You know, we're going to have Reginald, Cleto, Goldie. We've got some amazing comedians.
Scarface from Ghetto Bar.
That's right. Like our people are going to be there to talk to
Yeah,
you about what this is. You're not by
yeah,
yourself. We all know how this feels, and we've
yes.
got allies in the medical community like Dr. Milojlovic. Bogdan, I know I'm messing up your name. I know I'm messing it up.
Yeah, I should change my last name. Yeah.
That's why I always call him Bogdan. Well,
Yeah.
I'm very,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we
very
know
glad
each other for
we
long,
become friends.
Tiffany. You can
But
call me. Yeah.
we become friends, so we
Yeah.
do call one another by our first names. But we've got good people that are out there making devices. Bogdan just made his company Nova Biomedical. the company that he works for. It's a scrappy company, dude. Like if this company were a person, like if we could like turn it into a person and give it human characteristics, it's like that brother that's out there just willing to just punch you in the face, you know, because he believes in what he's doing. That's what Noble Biomedical is. It's a scrappy little group. And so, you know, they in the medical devices field, they really have come up with some amazing things. So this week we just sent a support letter in for them to the FDA, so that a medical device that they made that's similar to the technology that we use from them to screen in the public, they've made a device that one could use at home to test their creatinine levels. So we want to see it go through. Did I state all of that right, Bogdan?
Yeah. I mean, we are approaching FDA, and we're gonna get the new device, and that can be used really anywhere in community by anybody, really, in events like you are organizing. That anyone, it's so simple to use. Anybody can use it, like any glucose meter diabetic patient use. That should be. We are hoping to get what I call breakthrough designation, that so we can push it as fast as possible through the regulatory system and get it approved. And then, as you said, the next step for us is doing the self-testing, because we know it can be very useful for people to regularly monitor at home, like they're monitoring diabetics, monitoring their blood sugar levels. So, you know, and there are a lot of other actually devices we are working on and hopefully hit the market soon. There
are some great applications to that, especially for people who have APOL1. Like that is what my family has. There's a genetic link to descendants of West Sub-Saharan Africa. It's called APOL1. It is a different form of kidney disease. It's a genetic allele, a difference in different from FSGS, which is what you have, Reginald, or what you told me you have. So with APOL1, if it wakes up in your body like it did in my younger brother, it races through your body. It's not the slow progression that FSGS is. So within 18 months of my brother realizing what was going on, when it woke up in him, he went from training for a triathlon to not being able to do a push-up within 18 months, and being in renal failure. So he was very healthy and very conscious of his health. So with something like this, one would be able to watch to see like what's going on. Where am I on this?
I mean, that is one example, Tiffany, good, which is more like sort of like a chronic risk. But what you also have now in a broader term, if you talk about kidney disease, you have something that's called acute kidney injury. So that happens very fast.
Yeah.
And which have exactly the same serious implication. Actually, it's even more kind of, surprising, because, certain medications, actually, if you go to check any medication, if you read the small print that comes with medication, a lot of them come with a warning, either don't use it if your kidney function is below XXX, or if your kidney function, because most of the medicines are excreted through kidneys, and one way or another can hurt the kidneys. And we actually had just like a couple of weeks ago, some of the collaborators we work in England, they used our device to test people at home, oncology patients, so patients who had a cancer and received a therapy, and some of these therapies have potential to hurt kidneys. So they sent, it was a small study, but they sent a small number of patients home who just received their cancer therapy to monitor kidney function for, I can't remember now, a couple of weeks at home. And they found 40% of them had acute kidney injury during that period. And that is what you want to know. Somebody who is just starting to recover from cancer, do you want him really to end up with the next few weeks with a non-functional kidney? I mean, that's just double whammy, the hit that somebody doesn't need. And that's something, for the cost of a couple of bucks at home, measuring your kidneys for a month or two while you're on that therapy, just to make sure everything is fine and that you can protect that important organ in your body. It's like there's so many uses there. And I just hope, whole society will realize how big issue this is. So we are working on it. We have a lot of projects. So yeah,
there are so many things that injure the kidneys. Like right now, Texas Kidney Foundation has a campaign called Silent but Deadly. It's because kidney disease is a silent killer. But we are testing within the Silent but Deadly campaign. We are testing people who are on the other side of COVID-19. So you're in recovery from COVID-19. But what we're finding is that COVID-19 is acting as an AKI, an acute kidney injury. Normally with an acute kidney injury, then once the catalyst is removed, then the kidneys can reverse. They can go back and in many cases they'll reverse. A COVID-19 is not, that's what the data is coming out saying, that COVID-19 is not, kidneys aren't reversing, that people are still having issues 6 months out, a year out, after having had it. That right there, that's we're testing 8,000 people. We've partnered with Bexar County. Our Bexar County Commissioner, Tommy Calvert, is amazing. And as soon as he heard that, he has a real heart and mind for the public and for the people that he serves. So he was like, we need to do this. He was 100% behind it. And the reason why we're doing such a thing as testing with Nova Biomedical's creatinine statin meters is because an AKI of this nature, you tell them, Bogdan, what are we facing if this doesn't reverse itself? And we've got people we've got over 250,000 people in Bexar County in recovery from COVID-19. So if 10% of those people had an AKI, and the percentages are looking higher than that.
I mean, Tiffany, even without that, that I moved to US 2 years ago from England, and I worked there, and over there they take this issue very seriously. They have actually, in United Kingdom, they have a bit better screening programs because their primary care physicians are incentivized to test people at least once a year kidney function, especially people at risk, people with diabetes, high blood pressure, things like that. So they have a bit better success. But actually, we work with the people there who were very keen to lift that up even higher, because they said, because in UK, in United Kingdom, they have a National Health Service. So care is completely free for everyone at the point of care. So people receive free care, but everything is paid from the tax, from government. So their estimates, the people we work with, they said, like, because diabetes is growing up, a number of people with diabetes, number of people with high blood pressure, hence everything drives kidney injury, chronic kidney disease also increasing. So they estimated that I can't remember exactly how many years, we are talking about a relatively short period of time, let's say 10, 20 years, that whole budget that country has for National Kidney Service will go only on dialysis. So that's the size of the problem. So you end up whatever. I think now even is probably, I can't remember exactly, but there are billions spent even in US. But if nothing is done, this won't go away. It just will become worse.
Right now we spend, in the US right now, we spend $120 billion with a B, billion, on kidney disease. The last figures I looked at were like 34 billion of that is end-stage renal disease, and then the rest is are various stages of chronic kidney disease and other kidney diseases. But yes, it's a tremendous amount of money. $120 billion in the state of Texas. We are home to 10% of the kidney disease population in the United States. So we spend, uh, according to the Medicaid and Medicare numbers that we've crunched, somewhere around $4.8 billion in this state on kidney disease. Now that is Medicaid and Medicare numbers. That is not, and that's in stage renal disease. That's not CKD in general. CKD, the other stages of kidney disease, tend to outpace end-stage renal disease, like $3 to every $1 on ESRD. So it's 3 times the cost of ESRD. So if that's accurate, and you extrapolate that out, you're talking about many, many billions of dollars, somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 billion just in Texas. That's a lot of money. When testing people, the test, let's put that into perspective. What we do, what Texas Kidney Foundation is doing with Nova Biomedical. If we were to take those tests, you're talking about pennies on the dollar for what we're spending on people at the back of this disease, when we should be proactive and going after what's happening to their lives at the front of the disease. I mean, it's amazing to me.
I mean, it is incredible, and for me, it was actually good to hear Reginald talking about that. How his life is good now, that he's happy, and there is help there. People should know that there is there is a hope, there is a way out of it in a way. But earlier you are discovered, the better. So that would be my message. If anything from whatever I was talking for past, whatever 40 minutes is, the one message is, get tested. It doesn't take long, 30 seconds, little prick in your finger, and, help is there,
Yeah. Because now it's like, it's a whole lot of technology out now. And, in the 70s when I came up, we didn't know about, they told me when I was a little kid, I was hospitalized for like a week. They said I had kidney disease. But after that, it seemed like one thing I was drinking, I remember drinking sugar water in the hospital. Then after that, I had no signs of kidney problems, no signs of anything until I got in my 50s. I'm 56 now. So 2 years ago, I discovered, that it resurfaced. But I don't know, I don't know if it was a miracle or however it was, but at that time, that's what they said. But you never heard anything about getting screened for kidney. Probably you always got screened for maybe diabetes. You got screened for high blood pressure, something like that. But nobody ever talked about getting screened for kidney disease. It's becoming to the forefront now. So, I talk about it some in my act now on stage. I tell people about my story. So, getting the word out there now.
And I'm so thankful to you for bringing it to the forefront. Like Reginald, you're making a difference in the lives of thousands of people. I can tell you that right now. This is going to be the year.
Well, you'll be amazed how many calls and news shows that's calling me now. It's out there. So many, my daughter said, you need to start charging people, man, because you get. I gotta do another live right after we leave this at 2:15.
Reginald, you're doing God's work, and I'm so thankful to you and to Bogdan for everything that you're doing to get the word out, so that this doesn't have to happen to other families. As a team, we are changing the world of kidneys, and changing what's going to happen to our kids and our kids' kids when it comes down to this disease. I thank you both for being
Thank
here.
you.
You've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany and watching On the Record with Tiffany. You're listening to us on 9:30 a.m. Salem Broadcasting, and I'm thankful to those guys because that's where I started. And I'm always ride or die for the people I start with. I roll with the same folks all the time, and then of course TAAN TV, where we have a local feel and a global reach. And I just, a special thanks to TAAN for showing up and showing out today for World Kidney Day and just being there. TAAN is representative of us. This is our people and this is our time. And I thank you, Bogdan, for just standing with us and taking race correction out of your devices. That's a historic moment. And this is a historic moment for our people. So thank you.
Thank you. If I can just say last thing, thank you, Tiffany. I mean, thank you, actually, guys. I'm honored to be with you now on this call and all the other people I met here in Texas Kidney Foundation in past 2 days while I was with you. Just working with you, it makes me being a better person. I feel better about me. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. All right, guys.
Thanks, bye.